Hi, and welcome if you're just stumbling across this video. For those curious, my name is Alexa, although I like to go by my nicknames, which are either Lex or Lexa, whichever one is fine. So you can see I'm in my backyard. I like to be in the backyard. I like being outside. I feel it's nice because not only does it help you to think about things clearly, or just, gives you a much more clear headspace, but also it's just nice because, sometimes it's good to appreciate stuff like this. So I thought we'd talk about some stuff, like weird moments. You might be wondering why. I don't know, I thought it'd just be nice. I thought it'd be nice. I actually had this thought to do it yesterday, but then I thought it would be too weird. And then I found myself thinking upon a weird moment and thought that I had a little deeply than I probably should have, but it was something that made me laugh, something that I found to be interesting. Probably not that interesting, but give it a shot anyway, right? We all have our weird moments, okay? Let's start that out. We have these random moments that kind of just come out of nowhere, and sometimes we're like wondering why do they just appear out of nowhere. I actually was trying to record yesterday, but I didn't have anything, and I didn't want to just to record and then it'd be like, I don't know, and it was these moments that happen, they always tend to come at late at night, for some weird reason. You have a random thought, and then that random thought makes you think really deeply for some weird reason. And I was like, oh, this would have been really great if I had this idea earlier. It wasn't really an idea, it was just something really small that actually it wasn't funny. I knew it wasn't funny. And I'll explain. It's probably not going to sound funny. It's not going to be it probably won't be interesting, but long story short. So a moment that I had late at night, it was about maybe 10, I'd say. It was around 10, almost 11. And I was watching something. And there was a moment in that where I had a thought about water. Now hear me out. Okay? It happened to really be about water, and thinking water goes upwards. From a waterfall to rivers and streams and oceans. When you're seeing water from that, in that way, you see that it always kind of just flows downwards, it doesn't go up. I guess with the ocean, it kind of just slowly goes up because you're kind of seeing the tides and the waves come in. But water in general doesn't go up, I don't think, anyway. And that was just something that came to my mind for some weird reason. And then I was like, wait, water doesn't go upwards. If it's raining, it rains downwards. You don't hear, oh, we're having an uppour. I don't even know if that's an actual thing, to be honest. But we always hear downpour, which means it's gonna rain a lot. But never uppour, or so. And when you're in water, and we all did that thing where we would take water in our hands and throw it up in the air just to feel have it come back down, and we're like, oh, it's raining, but it wasn't actually raining, obviously. So yeah, that was that moment, and then I thought, and then that moment progressed into, um, it found its way to science, and I was like, oh wait, real rain kind of does technically go upwards because when there's water on the ground, and in order for it to rain, it's got to come from the sky. And in science, we learned about evaporation, where the water is like, say it's from a pond or wherever there's bodies of water, goes from the ground up into the clouds, and then the clouds become really big, and then it rains. So technically, in a way, yes, water does go upwards, but also not. And I know this makes no sense. I know. And then from that, I was trying to think about different cloud names, because believe it or not, there are different cloud names, and I'm still trying to remember what the gray cloud means. Like, I mean, not what it means, but the name of it. I know it starts with a C or something, but yes, that was just a weird moment. It probably, like, in the moment, I knew it wasn't funny, but it made me laugh because I just don't understand why I thought about that. Why that made me dig way more deeper than it needed to be. But I didn't want to just talk about that. It was just that moment where, like, you have these moments where you're thinking all these different thoughts. That's like, like, I've said this before about, like, when you're going to sleep, and before you go to sleep, your mind kind of wants to ask you random questions when you're trying to sleep. But sometimes you get those when you're awake, but it just comes out of the blue. But it's I just find it to be interesting because we all have those moments in some way where you just have this random thought that makes no sense, but it's like you kind of try and convince yourself it makes sense, but it doesn't make any sense at all. And it's just weird. It's just really weird, but I find that with those random moments, in those moments, you don't, like, you're never going to get a moment like that again. Like, when it's happening, you're feeling it how you're feeling it. It's making you laugh. You don't know why. It's probably stupid and just nonsense stuff. Just nonsense stuff that the brain wants to ask because it's just it has to throw those weird things to you. It has to throw them out there just because it doesn't know what to do with it. So it's like, oh yes, water, it goes upwards, or oh yes, this and this and this, and it's like, and then you're going like this to yourself, like the thought you just had is just you just gotta let it be. You're gonna be like, really, we had that moment. We really, wow, okay, yeah, sure. But I like those moments because, first, they're random, and you don't really know where you're gonna get with them. But that's the great thing about it. It's like when you are having those weird thoughts where you think too much about it, but it's good. It's not like it's a bad thought that's like in your head and you're constantly overthinking it. It's just a weird thought that is making you ask yourself a lot of questions because you had that thought, and it's good. It's in a good light. It's not in a bad light, which is great. But I love it, because when those moments are happening, there's no way to replicate that same moment, because once you get a moment like that, there's no way you're gonna replicate it unless you're like really good at replicating something, and you're like bringing it back to life type of thing. But I just feel with those moments, they're like once in a blue moon type of days, and you can really appreciate it because it's like if I had words to, if I had the words to describe it, I would, but I can't. I just wanted to say that you can appreciate those moments because they just, I don't know, they just have this weird way of making you find something to smile about and find something to laugh about, even when it's ridiculous. But you never get those, you never get the same moments again. Like, you never get those random late night thoughts again. And if you do, there's always a different, there's always a different moment within it. Like, there's always a different reaction you're gonna have to it. And it's not really gonna be the same. And that's what makes it great. If I would have recorded it yesterday, oh man, you guys, I don't know. I don't really know what it would have turned out. I know what it was, what was happening in the moment. You know, where my thoughts were going in terms of, like, you know, thinking about that. And I would have recorded it if it wasn't really late. But I was having a blast. And I was by myself. I was talking to myself. I know that sounds weird, but we all have those moments where we kind of are, like, talking to ourselves. It probably looks crazy. It'd look crazy if you were in public, but, well, like right now. But luckily, no one's really out right now, so I'm in the clear about that one. But I just wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to talk about, like, weird thought moments. Sometimes you just gotta, like, even when you're having weird, non-making sense feelings that, or, like, thoughts that you're like, what? Why are we having this thought right now? It's because you just let it happen. Because sometimes maybe you need it, or sometimes it's just something your brain needs to kind of, like, let go of for some reason. Because it's like, I had this thought, I want to share it, there's this thought, think about it. Seriously, think about it. You know you shouldn't think about it, but you do it anyway. That's all I have. If you found this to be interesting and you liked it, please share your thoughts down below. And if you like this channel, feel free to follow along and subscribe if you want. I hope you guys have a great, safe and healthy, you know, like, healthy day, weekend. Enjoy. And I hope you guys are all finding ways to be preoccupied. But anyway, you stay all well and safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.